Welcome to episode 34 of Rebels Without a Pod, the show that dares ask the question, when are they actually going to cover a mockumentary? My name is John, and joining me tonight, Andy, who does artwork and graphic design.
Hey, everybody.
Naveen on music and audio production.
Hello, hello.
Pod Daddy Eric will not be joining us tonight. I just received a text that his RAV4 is stuck in the sand outside an amusement park in Denia, Florida. He's asked we send a pit bull, cow, horse, sheep, mule, feral pig, guy in a gorilla suit, a dozen community theater children, and several boxes worth of diapers. So, shout out to Pod Daddy. We miss you. We hope to have you back soon.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
I don't recall. I didn't hear anything about an ice cream bunny. You're not going
to talk about ice cream bunny.
Nobody wants the ice cream bunny.
In a fire truck? No. Okay. All right. Just checking.
Nope.
Awooga.
That bunny is terrifying.
What if Eric just showed up on the next episode, like in like the costume, and instead of talking the whole time, it's just like her.
I really sincerely hope that happens.
We do have a B movie like series coming up, so maybe there's time to circle back to that.
That's right.
Oh, definitely.
He and Warren Wahlberg can exchange notes.
He could pull it off, but I think it would just be too schizophrenic to watch. I think that would give me an aneurysm trying to follow that.
Very likely.
Did we listen to the that pod or check it out? Or at least the ending of it?
Say again?
You're talking about the ice cream bunny one?
The ice cream bunny one, yeah.
Yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. I meant to. Yes, 100%. I love that you added that in at the end. Yes, I meant to text you about that, and I totally forgot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, at the end there, I put the audio in of the guy going.
And it's almost more disturbing when you don't have the visual because you have no idea what's going on the other end of that whatever that sound was. Like,
did you have any idea what was going on with the visual?
That's a fair point. That's a fair point, Johnny. You are correct.
There's a few I've done that with. Added a little extra thing on the end. Just curious if anybody ever noticed.
Yes.
No. The way that we end the podcast, it's a little bit thin at that point. So just maybe have like a fun kind of outro, sort of Daily Show moment of Zen style thing. Maybe that's a good idea going forward.
All right.
Yeah, I don't think it's a terrible idea at all.
No.
At the end of the last one, Stranger Brew, I added the little extra. Andy said hoser, and I added that again.
Nice.
I did not hear that one.
You could have just done like the lion burping.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You get that in there. And then there was the one where I had to leave. We did the albums. I had already left, but you guys were recording, and I think it was Eric, and a high-pitched voice was going, "Hurry back, Naveen!" So I took that audio and I put it at the end again.
All right, man. This is great. I think this is really kind of good format, like refinement for us. Yeah, let's keep going with it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so no movie on tonight's episode. We're going to be conducting maybe a bit of a shorter kind of holiday Rebel Scum, our conversation show format where we chill and discuss like the small matters of the day. So to start off, gentlemen calling in from like the other side of the world, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. How's everybody doing?
Yeah, good. Happy holidays and everything. And Merry Christmas to all of you as well. Yeah, things are going well. I got a little bit of week and a half off from work, which is nice. And the holidays were good so far. Just got family time, food, and some cool presents. I got a wireless guitar system.
A wireless guitar system.
Yes.
So I can't wait. I haven't tested it out yet, but I can't wait to test it out.
That's exciting.
Have they gotten like those wireless systems to like a point where like there's no sort of noticeable latency like when you're actually like playing the instrument?
I'll let you know when I test it out, but I believe
Yes.
so. And they've gotten a lot smaller as well,
Mm-hmm.
which is nice.
What did you get? Do you remember
So instead
offhand
of,
what the brand was?
No, I don't remember offhand, but I can grab it real quick. It's like right behind me, somewhere. But it's pretty. Again, they've gotten smaller, so you don't have this big box on your amp, and then you don't have to strap this little box on your strap or anywhere. It just everything's contained within the 1/4-inch plug that goes into your amp and your guitar, and it's really neat. But I'll grab it real quick.
That's
Talk
awesome.
amongst yourselves.
Yeah,
I'll give you something to talk about. Chickpea is neither chick nor pea. Go for it.
He's right. Neither chick nor.
There we go.
So what was did you get anything special for Christmas, Johnny?
Not particularly. We just my girlfriend and I are kind of like sort of out in Tokyo for like the next month or so. We have just been kind of just hanging out. She just wrapped up like her work a couple days ago, but we just sort of been kind of just tooling around the city, just kind of go out for dinners, kind of checking out like the new neighborhood that we're staying in. Tokyo is kind of like I'll kind of get to this a little later in the pod, but there's sort of there's an interesting kind of inversion of just how like the holiday stuff sort of like shakes out like when you're out in Japan.
Cool.
Andy, how about yourself?
It's been really busy on my end with the store and trying to get things put there. So that's been taking up a lot of bandwidth. So I would be lying if I said I wasn't. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted right now. But good exhausted. It's like a fulfilling, like a, hey, look, I'm actually doing something exhausted, not like I don't want to wake up tomorrow exhausted. That's depressing. But
this is something you especially understand, like in middle age. There's a huge distinction between the two.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's a fulfilled, like I'm enjoying myself. I really like being at the store and strategizing and coming up with big ideas and stuff like that. So that's been good. But yeah, I'll talk about the Christmas side of it a little bit later. But it's been a busy but good holiday season here as well.
Nice.
So what do you got, Naveen? What is it?
Getaria.
Getaria.
It's probably backwards for you guys.
No, it's actually not.
Oh, it's not. It's backwards for me, but all right. And then that's what it looks like. It's pretty small.
Okay.
Pretty neat.
Okay.
Again, I got to charge it and then check it out. Can't wait. I can be cool and go wireless and go everywhere I want. But yeah, again, no more of these big transmitters. Everything's getting so small these days. Pretty impressive.
Right.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Just like the performance and the latency thing is something I'd be really kind of curious to hear about. I've been thinking about like that a bunch. I've brought out to Japan on this visit my portable VR headset, which I actually have right here.
Portable VR headset. So is that one of those cardboard boxes?
No, this is the entire VR system right here. It's just this it's just kind of like this big pair of goggles. You don't have to plug it into a computer. This is the Oculus Quest number 2. It's a slightly outdated model. I think this came out like about kind of 3 or 4 years ago. But what's kind of like exciting about like the point that the tech has gotten to is it's become fast enough and performant enough and compact enough that you can have kind of standalone systems that you don't need to hook up anything to. You just kind of you put it over your eyes and that's kind of that. But despite the fact it's not actually sort of tied into like a larger sort of desktop processor, the hardware that's on the unit itself is still fast enough that it effectively works as like low to no latency the VR rendering. So like the biggest problem that they've had over like the past decade or two of kind of like a kind of consumer grade VR is just the problem of as you turn your head, the hardware and the software have to be responsive enough to immediately recognize you're moving, you're looking around like a little bit, and then be able to render what you're looking at quickly enough that there's no noticeable lag or delay. and like the way that the human eyes and the human brain actually just kind of process information, kind of process like a visual and kind of spatial sense of things, even if there's like a delay of just even like a few milliseconds or so. If you kind of look, and then the thing you're looking at takes even like a tiny bit of time to actually kind of catch up, that it makes you almost like immediately nauseous, like immediately disoriented.
Mm-hmm.
What's kind of like exciting about sort of where like the modern shit is at right now, like I said, it's just, you know, it's good enough that even like these relatively kind of inexpensive, I think these go for these retail for like about $200 or so, like right now. But the tech has gotten kind of good enough that you don't have any sort of noticeable sort of latency or lag when you're just kind of wearing the like the VR helmet and you're looking around. And that's you know, it's something that engineers have been struggling with for like a really, really kind of long time to get the tech out to that point, to get the tech out to like out to a place where it doesn't make people sick after just kind of just wearing like a helmet for about 5 minutes or so.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So let's kind of like jump into like our talking points right here.
All right.
So kind of like ahead of the episode, we sort of kind of wrote sort of like individual questions for everybody. Naveen, let's kind of go for you first. But how was this for you being your first Christmas as a newlywed?
Yeah. Interesting question, but I mean, it's actually the same. We've been living together for a couple of years already, so we've done this before. We knew what was coming in, so it hasn't changed much. Even just the living together, we were already living together, so getting married, it was just like okay, and it wasn't much of a change. Although it'd be kind of interesting to know. I mean, I'll never be able to know, but having a first Christmas as a newlywed, but no kids.
Sure.
I never had that, but so that was not there. But again, no big deal. Overall, it was good. It's been fun. Each year we do Christmas Eve, and that's always been fun the past few years. But again, it doesn't feel any different. I couldn't tell you anything. It just feels like Christmas, or not, as old age has gotten there, and I've just been like,
right.
That's cool. Christmas,
so it sounds warm. Sounds familiar for you.
What's that?
It sounds warm and kind of familiar, and
yeah. It's the usual stuff.
Cool. And going to Andy, like how? So this is a question you want to like discuss a bit. So how have the holidays been now that your kids have aged out of like the Santa stuff?
So one has aged out, my son, who's 15, and one is I have to be careful because she's outside the door, but she is suspects, I would say, that something's up. And it's bittersweet, there's a part of me that won't miss the tiptoeing around, not trying to remember what the lies that you've told to cover your,
right.
which present came from us, which ones came from Santa, like not having to remember that stuff will be nice, because I invariably fuck it up. So that's, but then, there's obviously the sentimental side of me that's like, oh man, my little kids are growing up, and that's got its own sense of bittersweetness to it, I guess. But it's still, Christmas is definitely for the kids, and when they are into the whole spirit of the season and the Santa Claus thing and putting the cookies out and all, that's really what makes it fun.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see over the next handful of years when that goes away, and I suspect this was probably the last year of it, honestly. What it's going to be like at that point. It'll be a little sad. It'll be a little sad
how the holidays are going to change, and just whether or not something just whether or not something kind of comes in to sort of replace that loss of just like I think what it sounds like you're kind of describing like the joy and the charm of kind of seeing your kids when they're younger kind of get into the spirit of things.
Yeah, I mean, I suspect that the next time it'll be magical again, and I hope I'm wrong. I very much hope I'm wrong, but I suspect that the next time it'll be magic themselves. If I have grandchildren, and then we get to go and do it all over again.
Sure.
That'll be fun. But yeah, I don't know. It like I said, very bittersweet. It felt like Christmas felt different this year than it has in past years. Just I think for a lot of reasons, but that's one of them. I guess I would say.
All right. So Naveen, when you're growing up, did your parents do the Santa thing or any kind of form of it in the house at all?
We celebrated Christmas. We had the presents. I think in the beginning they did a little bit, but nothing too big or extravagant. So yeah, we would even go in the next town over there. They had Santa's Christmas Village. We would do that stuff.
Yeah, like there's a very, very famous Santa's Christmas Village, actually. That's kind of been in town for generations, and so always this really popular, really kind of gigantic production that they do each year.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, I still love that. It brings me back, and that's definitely a warm feeling when we would go and do that. But overall, it wasn't a huge thing. It was just Christmas, and obviously none of the mass stuff or anything. Then people going to midnight mass or all that stuff.
Right.
Weren't of that religion or anything. But yeah, they did a little bit of the Santa thing. No, we maybe once or twice left out, cookies and milk or something, and my mom would do something for it. But I think we kind of aged out of it a little faster than I guess kids do nowadays. A little bit. Sure. So we kind of got over that, but still, did the stuff. Yeah, and again, the biggest thing was I was like the Santa's Christmas Village, and then started taking my daughter to it as well over the years. Sure. So that was kind of cool that it's still around and
still quite successful, to like my understanding. They actually did I guess some local film production company did a kind of like a miniature documentary on it like a few years ago, and actually used one of my mother's photos of I think either like myself or my brother when we were like 5-6 years old at Christmas at Santa's Village as like the cover for like the DVD that they put up.
Oh, no kidding. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So just interesting question here. Do you guys remember when you first clocked in like any kind of meaningful way that Santa Claus wasn't actually real?
Yes. I remember it. I remember it vividly. I was in grade school. It was when I was living in Rochester, New York. So that means that it was third grade or earlier. And I think it was actually second grade. I remember being at a gas station in Rochester. In fact, I believe it was a Hess gas station. And I was sitting in the back seat. My mom is sitting in the front seat. My dad is outside pumping gas. And I leaned between the seats. It was a Mercury Cougar. I don't remember what year it was, but it was a silver Mercury Cougar. And I leaned up and I looked at my mom and I said, "Mom, is Santa Claus real?" And she paused for a second, turned back to me and went, "No."
That's
yeah, I was like 8. Maybe I was 8.
Quite the presentation.
Yep.
No.
And she, I mean, my mom has never been one to pull punches or gild the lily or anything like that. She's always just been like one of the most blunt people you'll ever meet in your entire life. And yeah, I asked her the question and she just straight up said no. And as I look back on that,
and then she went, "Andy, you're 19 years old. You're a sophomore in college. This is some shit you should have pieced together years ago."
Yeah. No. So yeah, I look back on it now and I think to myself, that was kind of fucked up. That was kind of fucked up, but it's a funny story now, I guess, for whatever that's worth. And if she didn't break me that way, she'd have broken me some other way too, because that's what parents do. We just chip away at our kids' sanity and future mental health. So
eventually enough becomes enough.
That's right. So yeah, I remember that vividly.
Wow. Yeah, I have no, for myself, recollection when it happened. Just over the years, I guess got over it, and you always hear some other kids saying Santa Claus is not real, or you see it in the movies or something.
I mean, not to sound too Eric Carpenter from South Park about this, but it was the one Jewish kid in my elementary school class, I think in third grade, that pointed out. We're just kind of standing there, and she just said to like a bunch of us, just out of nowhere, really for no reason, she was just like, "You realize Santa Claus isn't real, right?" And like a bunch of us went, "Oh, okay." Because for me, it was like, it was not even something I was just kind of credulous about, but it was not really. It was not something I really kind of examined, I guess, to any kind of degree, because it. Yeah. I'm being a little bit loud for the Japanese pot, though, I guess. This was, if this makes any kind of sense, Santa made as much sense to me as a bunch of real shit that was also just completely sort of like unbelievable on its face. Like Santa Claus made sense to me like the same way that airplanes made sense, that galaxies and molecules made sense. That like the fact that when I turned on the TV, I could see Bert and Ernie and Big Bird, but they weren't actually physically in the TV. There was something magic being sent over the airwaves that made them appear that was actually like in my TV, and like and all these things. At least the way my mind worked as a kid. So I'm like, as a kid, all that seems kind of crazy and like doesn't make a ton of sense, but these other things are real. So why should Santa not be in like that same kind of bucket? Like at the end of the day,
I guess I could see that. I mean, yeah, sure. There's a lot of real stuff that doesn't make any logical sense to a 10-year-old, 6-year-old, or whatever. Right. So yeah, I could see that.
But Andy, this is something I'm kind of curious about in terms of just how you kind of what you said, like the lies on top of lies with Santa. But like, how did you navigate? Because like there was a much earlier thing I think I should have clocked with Santa, was that in that Santa and my mother had the identical handwriting, and that's something I remember just kind of staring.
I have to credit Hillary, my wife, for that. So apparently when she was growing up, her parents had, I mean, essentially, I don't want to say invented, but they had basically come up with a completely separate handwriting that was Santa's handwriting.
Really?
And it was, it was very blocky. It was very blocky and boxy. So basically it was easy to kind of remember what it looked like, because, an A looked like a rectangle without a bottom with a line through it. And, it was all very uniform and easy to remember. It was all capital letters, so we just did that. We just adopted that. And it went by no problem.
Interesting. Yeah. Not only did Santa have like identical handwriting, but he used the same wrapping paper that my parents did for questions, and just my parents weren't doing quite the same catch me if you can sort of shit that sound like you and your parents actually were back in the day. But I also had the
different wrapping paper, separate wrapping paper for those presents, and it was a whole thing.
Nice.
Yeah, no, I did the same thing with my daughter. So different wrapping paper. I would even hide the wrapping paper because sometimes she'd be like, "Don't we have that wrapping paper?" I'm like, "I don't think so." You can go look. You go look. It wasn't there. For me, I just have messy handwriting. So when Santa did it, my handwriting was nice and neat and slow.
Hiding in plain sight.
Yeah,
that's right.
Very nice.
Very devious.
So Naveen, since this is something you already kind of like spoke to like a little bit already, we also have a like as kind of a talking point. Did Christmas have any kind of a religious sort of component in your families growing up?
No, it never did.
Mm.
It was always just the fun of the lights, the Christmas trees, the decorations, and Santa presents and things.
Like the secular version of the holiday, basically.
Right, pretty much. Our more religious holiday was Diwali, so end of October, early November would be that religious part. But yeah, just took part in the other part of of Christmas. So no religious thing with it at all. The fun of it, and of course the actual being good to each other aspect.
Right.
Yeah, and that was about it.
Nice. Andy, how about yourself?
No, I mean, we were not a religious family growing up. The only time I remember it really taking on a bit of a religious bent was when, towards the end of her life, my grandmother moved in with us in Situate, in Massachusetts, down on the South Shore, and I think she was only with us for one Christmas, if memory serves. And that Christmas Eve, we went to midnight mass at the local church. And it's the one and only time I think that I've ever been to midnight mass. And it was probably, the fifth time I'd ever been in church in my whole life at that point. And that was in high school. I think I would have been like 1990. Maybe I was in high school. Maybe it was the end of middle school, maybe 93, 94, something like that.
Sure.
And yeah, so it was, first of all, I was exhausted. The fact that mass didn't start until midnight was absurd to me, and I wanted to go home and get into bed. Not to mention the fact that I didn't know any of the songs that were being sung. I didn't really know much about the lore of, Christianity and all that kind of stuff. So it was totally lost on me. Interestingly, this year, Charlie is starting to be a little curious about religion, and which, yeah, it's kind of come out of nowhere. We're not exactly sure what the catalyst for it is. We're still trying to kind of figure it out. Not that there's anything wrong with it if that's something he wants to do, and he's getting.
But it doesn't sound like anything was really kind of like in your like family's immediate orbit at all. So where this is coming from?
No, not at all. Not at all. So so he he's got an interest, and he with Hillary went to, wasn't midnight mass, it was 10 p.m. mass on Christmas Eve. So it's interesting that, for me, it held absolutely no mystique. I was totally not interested in it. I didn't feel like learning any more about it. It just wasn't, it didn't hold my interest. And Charlie is actively seeking it out right now to learn more about it. So it's interesting how it hits different people at different times in their lives.
Yeah. And, certainly kind of forgive my ignorance for this, but, so when you say kind of midnight mass, these refer specifically to kind of Catholic Christmas Eve services, correct?
Yeah, very much so. Full, choir and, the actual readings of the scripture and getting communion and, the wine and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. The whole 9 yards. So
got it.
Yeah, it always seemed a little strange to me. The whole ritual behind it always seemed a little weird to me, but to each their own,
Yeah, certainly. For me, I had sort of a kind of like maybe a bit of like an unusual sort of exposure to kind of religion sort of growing up. My family, or sort of specifically my mother, became suddenly like very, very interested in trying to get some kind of religious experience and some kind of just kind of religious exposure for at least kind of my brother and I. So we went from having no participation in church, just no attending of kind of services or kind of go into any of these kind of any of these kind of just holiday events or anything like that, to very, very suddenly we were going to like a local, not a Catholic church, like a relatively mellow Protestant congregational church in like the next town over. And I went from having kind of no kind of church exposure whatsoever to kind of attending Sunday school from, I believe it was like kind of fourth grade till about like eighth or ninth grade, when you actually had the what they referred to as kind of confirmation classes, and a choice at that point to join or kind of not join the church. This is something my mom kind of spearheaded, like the way they depicted in The Simpsons of in that great kind of earlier episode, Homer the Heretic, where the mom was like, "We got to go to church. I don't really have a great explanation for why." And like Lisa has no interest, Bart has no interest, Homer definitely has like no interest in it. It was kind of like a similar sort of thing for my family. I, the entire time, remember just completely detesting going to church, just wanting, just hating it, thinking it was insane, thinking it was just kind of nonsensical, just wanting to kind of keep like just not wanting to be involved, keeping the entire thing at arm's length the entire time. And in the confirmation class that I took in about ninth grade, I was the only one in the confirmation class. Like most people sort of made the, most of the teenagers that kind of went to it made the, like, oh yeah, fine, yeah, it's cool, it's fine, we'll kind of join the church, and then they'll once they finish confirmation class, they would never sort of show up again. I was the only person that actively said, no, I have no interest in kind of joining this church, and I have not set foot in the place like ever since then. So so kind of looking back, when we started kind of doing that, we did also start going to a New Year's Eve service that they performed, a Christmas Eve service that they performed, not a midnight mass thing, something they ran at kind of like so more reasonably sort of 7-8 o'clock, where they do kind of, they do the hymns, and they do like a little kind of just sort of like a little kind of candlelight kind of just portion like the service, like at the end of the ceremony. And I remember that being one of the only times there where even though I didn't get it, more just kind of on like the sentiment of the event, and kind of like the beauty of like the songs in the service, and everybody kind of just doing the kind of the final kind of candlelit song at the end, and then everybody sort of departing the church, still holding the candles, and sort of as they say, sort of kind of carrying the light like out in like the nighttime. That part, that was one of the only sort of redeeming things, I guess, I sort of remember about those years where my family tried to get me like kind of involved in like that world like a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, that's a totally valid reaction or response to, everybody has a different, I guess, take on the religious thing. It's not for me, clearly, Johnny. It's not for you, Naveen. I've known you long enough to know that you're not particularly religious in that way either. But
right,
I'm trying to keep as open a mind as I can for Charlie's sake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my mom would always say, she knew from when we were younger that we were not really into it. And it seems like even with Johnny, like kind of weird that, our parents kind of started later. You figured if they started like right from the beginning and it was just ingrained to us, it'd probably be like, oh, okay, this is what I do.
It was a thing that kind of came into our lives randomly, and it just, maybe there's some component to it, but it just having like an almost exclusively sort of secular upbringing, kind of like sort of prior to that, it's never quite something that I understood, and certainly never something I kind of really jived with at all. But again, like Andy, they kind of put very well, for my own reasons, and sort of like the grand sort of calculus of which is just what people sort of need or don't need in their lives, sort of spiritually, that's too complicated for any one person, I think, to ever figure it out. So, just live and let live as best you can, I think is like the right approach to it.
Yeah.
And my mom always told us, if you do find religion or whatever, I'd hope you'd start with Hinduism first, as opposed to just going somewhere else.
Right. What would you guys do for like the Diwali celebrations? What was the did you attend like temple services because of that, or what was the?
Maybe we did a few times, but rarely. Most of the time, it was just in house. My mom would set up a little shrine thing for the gods and things, and do the little ceremony thing with milk and then the bindi, putting that on there, and then we'd put a candle outside. I believe Lakshmi was the god of fortune, and not necessarily wealth, but of good fortune and health and life. And you light the way home for her to come back.
Okay.
So do that kind of things, and then do the the prayer songs that they had for that time.
So forgive my ignorance, but so the significance of Diwali is good fortune, good health kind of a thing, or what's the
as explained to me as well, that it's also
celebrating.
It's celebrating that good wealth and fortune, but so they related it as well to basically the new year. Like, here's the new year coming for us, because the Hindus do their religion based off the moon's cycles. That's why it's sometimes at the end of October, sometimes early November, depending on that moon cycle. So it's basically like
same as used to, pretty much.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's basically a new year celebration, because everybody does their resolutions for New Year's. All right, I'm going to do this to be better, to do that to be better. So that's the equivalent, I guess, the analogy of what Diwali is.
Got it. Okay.
Right. It's kind of interesting to me hearing you describe this and think about how these are kind of like, these are sort of two religions that sort of came up on sort of opposite sides of the world and had sort of just in devolved and evolved extreme sort of divergence of ways, but at the same time, there are these kind of interesting kind of common touchstones between sort of your sort of year-end celebrations. Talk about coming together as a family, coming together as a community, singing together, having kind of chants or hymns or songs that you do, and later, but especially talking about the. And again, this is as much as I did not like church, this is the one memory that was kind of very effective to me. Having a candle that you're putting out in the darkness as kind of as a beacon, as a way for people to kind of find themselves, or as a way to light somebody home.
I think religions, without getting this into a super religious conversation, but I think, largely speaking, all religions are a lot more similar than maybe most people think. I mean, it really 100%. Just comes down to be good to each other and tread as lightly as you can, I guess, on the world around you. And I think maybe that's why I don't jive as well as others do with religion, because I feel like that message gets lost a lot.
100%.
I forget there's the old George Carlin bit that comes down to, he takes the 10 commandments and he whittles them down to 2. One of them is, I think one of them was don't kill anybody. And the other one was don't be a dick. And
don't be a,
basically those are the same thing anyways. So it really comes down to just don't be a dick. Just be nice to other people. And I feel like that gets lost far too often, unfortunately.
Sure.
Yeah. People use their God as reason why you can't do this or can't do that or should do this, do that.
That's right.
Yeah. But moving on.
It's the thing that just kind of lost me about sort of religion, sort of kind of like very early on, is in again this is another impossible thing to kind of sort of figure out broadly of the grand calculus of does organized systematic religion do more harm or do more good is a truly difficult, if not impossible, thing to like figure out. But at least in my lifetimes, in at least in kind of my personal experience, certainly like just memories of kind of what I saw around myself as a kid, but kind of definitely sort of memories as an adult, I have certainly seen organized religion do a significant amount of harm in multiple kind of different ways and different kind of facets throughout the world, and that's a thing that still to this day kind of keeps me from that sort of keeps me wanting to have like that, just to wanting to have like that entire world at arm's length from how I kind of just perceive and think about things.
Yeah, I think that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. So, religion, however, is somehow something we're probably even like less kind of qualified to talk about than movie criticism. But so why don't we like pivot like a little bit? We had as a couple talking points here. I was very curious about this one. What fictional Simpsons products would you like to actually receive for Christmas one day?
Oh crap! I forgot to look that up.
Oh.
This was a super interesting question because of course, I've watched The Simpsons, not as much recently, but I watched the first 10 seasons religiously, and of course, I know that
the wide consensus is the second through the 11th or 12th season of The Simpsons is among the best television ever made, and nothing that happened before or after is particularly important at all.
Yeah, I think that's true, but I never really, I guess, even clocked how many unique products were made in that world. And so in doing a bit of research for this question in particular, it brought back some really great, funny memories of the show and things that I had forgotten. So I'll buy Naveen some more time.
No, go for it. You're good.
The Krusty Home pregnancy test. Warning, may cause birth defects. It's so good. It's just so goddamn good. The nacho hat. If you recall the nacho hat where Homer wears the giant nacho hat, sombrero made of nacho with the nacho cheese around it, and he's breaking off pieces and eating it. And it makes me wonder why the nacho hat has never become, maybe it has never become a real product in real life. Because it just seems like something that
if you went to like the Simpsons land at Universal Orlando, they must have it, if not on like regular rotation, at least as like a promotional thing that they sell out of like a food cart.
If they don't, it's a huge missed opportunity.
Completely.
That was one. The Sun and Run. I don't know if you guys remember this one. The suntan lotion that's also a laxative. Which, I mean, somebody must need that. I don't know who. Somebody must. I have Crohn's disease, so I definitely don't need that, but somebody must. And my favorite, and the one that really is my takeaway, is the Homer, which is the car that Homer designed, with the two bubbles and the horn on the roof and like the spoiler and just and it's like super long and weird looking and
the horn plays like cucaracha.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so I think that's my choice. I think that's the one that I want for Christmas if I could pick any of them.
Nice. I kept landing on like the fictional Simpsons video games that I wish were actually real. I found like Lee Carvalho's putting challenge, Bone Storm. Right. If you just kind of like there's Bone Storm. If you look through the there's this wiki, of course, there's Wikipedia page out there that's got like all 35 seasons worth of the games, but there's also stuff like Hockey Dad, Grand Theft Walrus, Disemboweler 4, Nuke Canada, Marching Band. But like the Simpsons video game, I would really want more than like anything else is like there's a 5th episode show where it shows Martin at the Martin Prince playing at the arcade, and he's playing My Dinner with Andre the video game. um, and it's just Wallace Shawn and the other guy just having a conversation, and Martin's playing like the video game, and like the three controls on the video game are either tell me more, trenchant insight, or bon mot.
That's good. That's really, I forgot about that one completely. That's really good.
So
yeah,
like
the video game. That's a good call.
Yeah, video games
Solid.
the primary one, but also I'd be kind of just sort of curious to try Fudd beer at one point. particularly after hearing that it made like all those hillbillies go blind.
Was that a Shelbyville beer, or what was the story there?
That was the Colonel Homer episode where I think it was like Homer went out to Shelbyville to the redneck bar where Lurleen was waitressing at, and he asked, could I have a Duff beer? And like the bartender's like, we don't have Duff here, we got Fudd.
Lurleen was the country singer that he almost had an affair with, or whatever, right?
Correct. Yeah. Beverly D'Angelo from the Family Vacation movies, like always.
Vacation movies, yeah.
Naveen, you got something for us?
She was one of my. I digress for one moment. I'm sorry, I have to break in.
No, go for
Beverly D'Angelo was one of my crushes as a preteen teenager, because of the couple of scenes that are in the vacation movies that I was probably too young to see. But oh boy, yeah.
I didn't know about like her back in the day, but you know, she's a wildly accomplished sort of country singer in her own right, and she actually became famous by just for people closer to our age, like the vacation films. But prior to that, she was. Hold on a second here. Also, really kind of famous for kind of playing like an actual real country singer in this film called The Coal Miner's Daughter. I'm trying to remember the actual.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, Coal Miner's Daughter. She was her. So you know, she was actually kind of most famous for Coal Miner's Daughter, her portrayal of Patsy Cline, and like that movie was about like 1976.
Patsy
that came
Cline.
out. Yeah.
All I can say is I was a big fan of her work when I was about 15.
Mm-hmm. The 90s were a different time, man. Like just any way to see a nipple that you could.
Ain't that the truth?
Ain't that just... No lies.
That's right. Sorry, I interrupted. Naveen, what about you?
Good.
Did you find anything?
I mean, there's a few things. I like Coca-Cola, so Buzz Cola would be something I like to try, or the infamous Squishy from the Quickie Mart. Those are crusty O's, even with the jagged metal O's or whatever that they put in there as a toy.
Right.
Those are great. The lean back chair, so it had the extra legs. When you lean back, and the legs would pop out. I think that was part of it. And then
I don't remember that one.
Oh, electric hammer. So you just hold it and
that wasn't that whole episode. Homer was just trying to figure out like a way that he was just trying to like come up with a patent for something that he would be remembered by, and he kind of stumbled across like those legs accidentally.
Right. So be kind of neat.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can lean back, and then these legs would pop out, and you wouldn't fall over.
That has to be a thing. There's got to be something like that.
Somebody at least on Etsy working out of like Peru has to be like those things.
And if it's not, it is now. So
right. One of our fans will do it if it's not there.
You mean our fan?
Yeah. You know, gotta make it sound good.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be
like and
Leonard.
Subscribe, people.
Leonard's gonna make it.
Shout out, buddy. I hope whatever kind of pagan holiday shit you're doing like this season is going well for you. All right. With that, do you guys want to kind of pivot to a little sorbet that I've written for everybody?
No, unless it has to do with this, because Andy had mentioned as well favorite Christmas movies.
Favorite Christmas movies. Sure.
Yeah, so I guess I would like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. What are your go-to, I guess, Christmas movies that you enjoy and love to still watch, even now, or even bringing it to the kids? Like, you got to watch this. I used to love watching this growing up.
Mm-hmm. I would assume like the vast majority are like kind of super embarrassing at this point.
Possibly.
Yeah. Let's see
No,
here.
absolutely not.
And Andy, you want to go first on this?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So we start watching Christmas movies in this house pretty much.
Did he freeze for you too?
He froze. Yeah.
I'm back. Wait, I'm going to turn off
There
my
we go.
video. Hold on. I'm going to turn off my video. Let me see if that helps. Can you guys hear me now?
So far, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we start watching Christmas movies pretty much directly after Thanksgiving. And we try to rifle through, if not one a night, certainly one kind of every other night. So we watch everything you can possibly imagine. My favorites. It is a lot of movies. Yeah, it is. And by the time Christmas is over, I'm so done with Christmas movies that I can't wait to watch anything, literally anything else. But year after year, my favorites are, in no particular order, Elf, because Elf is wonderful. I love A Christmas Story. Typically, we try to watch A Christmas Story on Christmas, which we actually did accomplish this year. So I love A Christmas Story. I love Scrooged. Scrooged with Bill Murray is great.
Yeah.
I love both Home Alone 1 and 2. Those are classics. And I love Christmas Vacation, which, funny little story. So my in-laws were here maybe 2 weekends ago, and I decided, it was like 9:00 at night, sitting on the couch, and I decided I was going to throw on A Christmas Story because nobody else really seemed to want to watch TV, and I was done peopling for the evening, and my father-in-law Jack came in and sat down, turns to me, and he goes, I've never seen this movie, and I went,
"What?
Are you kidding me?" And he goes, "No, I've never." In fact, he has never. I don't know. He's never seen a vacation movie at all. None of them.
Wow.
Full disclosure: I've not actually seen like a Christmas Vacation myself.
What?
Yeah. What about European Vacation or Wallywood? What was that one?
Just the first one. Just the first
Vacation.
One. Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible to me. Okay, so maybe it's not as rare as I thought it was, but so I said to him, Jack, you are going to sit here and you're going to watch this with me because you have to see this movie. And he did. To his credit, he sat and he watched the whole thing. He was cracking up in all the right parts, and he thoroughly enjoyed himself. So I feel like I gave somebody a gift this Christmas in turning them on to Christmas Vacation, because it is an absolute classic. And Johnny, you really should one of these days sit down and watch it, because it's just there's so many great quotable parts of it.
And this is still around sort of like peak Chevy Chase era. This isn't.
Oh yeah.
This is when he still has like a bit of mojo, right?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
The only thing I this is a weird bit of trivia to have off the dome for a film I've never actually seen, but so there's a character, Crazy Aunt Bethany, in the movie.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You know what her most famous kind of a credit actually is? She was the original voice actress for Betty Boop.
No way.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh no, I did read that recently. That's right. Yeah.
I can totally hear it now, but I never knew that. That's really kind of cool.
I recently read that. That's right. Yeah.
That's very cool. That character also just is so great in that movie, where she stands up and she does the Pledge of Allegiance before they tuck into dinner, Christmas dinner, and yells "play ball" at the end, and anyway.
Oh, is that the end? I thought that was the grandma.
Well, that's Aunt Bethany.
Oh, okay, I thought it was the grandma, but
yeah.
But that's. I understand play ball is like everywhere, but that was like the first time I heard that, and it was just great when you see Santa Claus going over the moon and they're finishing the Star Spangled Banner, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, play ball. You're like,
yep.
No, Naveen, I think we have an outro sound clip for the podcast tonight.
Play ball.
Love it.
Yeah.
What about you, Naveen?
Yeah. Well, I've become an old grumpy man, so I don't really watch much in the way of Christmas movies. But yeah, some of my favorites definitely the Christmas Vacation. Home Alone is good. I remember liking it a lot as a kid, and still good. I would say the first one more than the second one.
Sure.
Yeah, for me, the second one is like, all right, I could watch it, but don't need to. Christmas Story is definitely great.
The second one is a bit of a copy kind of thing.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, it was good, but yeah, it was just kind of neat as well, just to see, like all those sites like, oh, I know New York City there. I know that one. Yeah, that looks good. There's one that I don't know how I got into it, but it was always great. It was Santa Claus the movie, but not the Tim Allen one. But those are great ones.
The Bob Hoskins one?
Not Bob Hoskins, Dudley Moore.
Dudley Moore. Okay.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
Well, that was a way back in the day watch, I remember.
Yeah, and I always loved watching it, and it wasn't a very popular one, I don't think. But it was great. And then one year it was like, this is one of my favorite movies, Kirthi, my daughter there, and you got to watch it. I fell asleep. I'm like, this totally sucks. I was like, all right. But I'd probably watch it again just to double check.
We've said it on the show before, but like nostalgia can be a very thick lens.
Yeah. But also, definitely the first Santa Claus, the one with Tim Allen there. That's always a great one that I enjoy watching.
Christmas movies for me, again, sort of similar to Naveen, not something I really kind of cycled back to generally. I had this is kind of years and years ago, but I had the ultimate experience of kind of watching Elf that I've not kind of gone back and watched the movie again since then, because I've just been like, there's no way I'm going to top this experience. But I remember like taking it was like a little kind of like there was some special thing that I worked out with that I got these tickets from work where you could take a bus from Hanscom Air Force Base, just outside of Boston, very near where I was living at the time. And you could take the bus. The bus was kind of like one of these luxury coaches in kind of mid-December, and the bus went from Hanscom all the way down to Midtown Manhattan. You can basically tell the bus driver, drop me anywhere off on Fifth Avenue that you actually wanted to go, and you get about 6 or 7 hours walking around like New York City, and then you kind of cycle back, and they met up at Bryant Park and would take you home. And it was just a beautiful snowy Christmas day. I was kind of going down to like the city with some people. We just had like just a full on Christmas and Manhattan kind of day planned, and they were playing Elf like on the drive down, and just everybody was just enraptured by the movie. Everybody was just super kind of getting into it, and it was just it was one of these. It was almost like kind of Rockwellian. I'm like, this is such a great movie, and this is such a great sort of place and kind of way to kind of actually sort of take in this movie as you're kind of going into New York, which is kind of like this sort of kind of classic holiday experience.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Alpha's definitely good.
Yeah. Other than that, like we had a very small number of just kind of like VHS tapes, like actual sort of like original print. We had like tons and tons of stuff that my dad pirated from the video store they worked at the time, but we only had about sort of 3 original copies of movies. We had E.T., we had Wayne's World, and we had the first Home Alone. And my brother and I just almost burnt out like our VHS of kind of Home Alone, just watching it over and over and over again. On my flight into Tokyo earlier this month, I sat next to this kind of 20-something Japanese couple. The girlfriend kind of fell asleep like pretty early in the flight. The guy watched Home Alone, the first Home Alone, 3 times in a row over the course of the flight between San Francisco and Tokyo. And I have like this weird thing now, like when I'm taking long flights, I I don't even bother watching movies on my own seat. I kind of find myself sort of weirdly enjoying kind of watching whatever's playing on like the seat next to me. I mean, I know that sounds kind of completely psychotic, but I ended up watching like Home Alone about 2.5 times, just with the guy sitting next to me, and just really not just kind of digging it, but it's one of those where I'm like, I've not seen this probably like close to 30 years, remembered and loved every single scene that kind of came through, and I was just really just kind of like amazed of just what a lightning in the bottle that that is kind of, sort of looking back now, just a shockingly well made just kind of just piece of holiday cinema.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's so good. That's definitely my kids. I don't know if their favorite, but it's way up there. Charlie says that he likes Home Alone 2 better than Home Alone 1, which I argue with him every year that he's wrong. I tell him he's entitled he's entitled to be wrong.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Jeff.
It's just Charlie holding that opinion. It very definitely sounds like he needs to find religion.
Yeah. I have a feeling it's more just to be contrary than anything else, because I'm so adamant that Home Alone 1 is the better film. Home Alone, to be clear, Home Alone 2 is still a very funny movie. The scene where, Harry and Marv are getting hit by the bricks from the top of the building is hilarious. There's so many really funny parts of that movie, but the original is, like you said, Johnny, like they captured magic in a way that I personally had never seen prior to that. And I've never seen it done as well since then either. That first Home Alone movie with, the young Macaulay Culkin being just this cute little troublemaker, and just so good.
Catherine O'Hara throwing fire the entire time, kind of John Candy coming in.
But in everything she's in everything she's in, let's be honest. I mean, like, she is just such a treasure of an actress in everything.
Right.
Yeah. So, that's a great one.
Yeah. Home Alone 2, not a movie I particularly care for. Like, the thing that makes me smile most about Home Alone 2 is a John Mulaney joke about it. Let me see if I can do this justice. Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. Lost in New York, the streets are numbered.
Yeah, fair. And the fact that he never, he doesn't get the police involved in either movie is so unbelievable and ridiculous. The fact that in New York City there are no police around or no adults that see what's happening and are worried about this young child on his own on Christmas Eve, talking to a homeless woman.
It's kind of a bizarre dystopian sort of parallel universe, New York.
Yes, exactly. Like, it's a New York that has never existed, never will exist. Anyway, but still, still love it. Still love it.
Any other holiday movie shout-outs?
Well, I think we would be a really bad podcast if we didn't bring this up. Die Hard. The age-old question, is it a Christmas movie?
It feels like a settled conversation at this point. I saw the best thing on Twitter the other day. It was it's Christmas Eve, so don't forget to put shoes, cigs, and a Beretta in the ductwork for John McClane.
Yeah. Is it a Christmas movie? I mean, it takes place during the Christmas season. I'd say it's as much a Christmas movie as Home Alone is.
Yeah, I was going to make that same comparison.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a Christmas movie in the same way that Elf is, or the way that the Santa Claus is, or that kind of stuff, but it takes place at Christmas.
Yeah.
Right. It's a Christmas party.
That's right. At Nakatomi Plaza.
Alan Rickman's first film performance, I want to say at like 41, 42. Am I remembering that trivia right?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'd like to look that up. I think so.
Yeah. I mean, like he extremely accomplished on stage and British television, but I think that was his first ever actual feature film.
Oh man, rest in peace. What an amazing, fantastic actor that has just delighted me for years.
Yeah.
Very high recommendation. The Blank Check episode where they cover Die Hard with Kevin Smith, who actually has personal stories about Alan Rickman and Bruce Willis that he kind of relays over the pod. Really, really entertaining. Very good listen.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Which one was
Love
that
Alan
again?
Rickman.
Say
What's that, Naveen?
Say it again, Johnny. What was the
The Blank Check episode of where they covered Die Hard with Kevin Smith.
Gotcha. Check that one out.
Yeah.
All right, and yeah, just first film role. Rickman almost passed on the role of Hans Gruber, which was his first film role. He was only in Hollywood for 2 days at the time and was initially appalled at the idea of playing a villain in an action film.
Oh,
Well, shit.
yeah. Talk about a good choice that he decided to go for it, because that is such an iconic movie and an iconic character.
Mm-hmm.
Great stuff.
Fair to say he nailed it, right?
Yeah.
He did. I mean, he did. You knew who the villain was.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was great.
Any
and then
others?
just in that scene where he meets John McClane, but then he changes his accent like that, and he's like, just this American guy. He's like, wow, that was well done. And then brings back that accent.
Right. Naveen, what age did you say that was again?
Oh, sorry, I didn't say what his age was. So I don't know his age.
He had to have been in his 40s. I mean, at least late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah,
it's not too late for the rest of us, guys.
No.
Yes, it is, Johnny. Yes, it is.
No, there's a few things that I saw. Something about that. The owner of KFC was like 40 something when he started KFC. I guess Einstein.
You mean the Colonel?
The Colonel.
If you wanted to. 42 was his age.
Jesus Christ.
When he did 42 when he did Die Hard.
Good for him.
Wow.
Way to take the leap.
Pretty young though, too.
He had the white hair on the temples, though.
Sure.
He did, but you could never tell if that was. Yeah, but if that was just makeup or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. So wait, just want to make sure we're all in agreement. Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2024. This is a kind of a settled conversation, I think.
All right,
Yeah,
just making sure. But it's still always a fun one to have, because
I think
I'm on record saying that it is a Christmas movie.
I think we all three are. So it doesn't even matter what Eric thinks. He loses.
Yeah.
We don't even have to ask him.
Yeah.
Worst case, he's still outvoted.
That's right.
He'll still put up the fight though, just for fun.
Yeah. If you don't show up to the pod, you don't get a say in it anyway. So he's officially overruled no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny, what do you got for sorbet?
Not knowing Eric.
Yeah, I think I'm done with
the fight like.
Yeah.
All right. So
what do you got for us, Johnny?
All right. So this is going to be kind of like a 7-question sorbet. Did like a fun little bit of research like over the last few days on it. So I'll be second. Let me grab a pen, but I will be kind of counting points for this. So these are 7 questions about sort of weird holiday traditions throughout the world.
Oh boy.
Okay.
And these are multiple choice, A through D. And just after you hit the question, buzz in with your first name. If the first person to buzz in misses it, other player gets a chance to steal.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right. And like I said, 7 questions, and I've also got some visual aids, and I'll be sharing those just after each of the questions get answered. So here we go.
Wait. Point of clarity. Point of clarity.
Point of clarity.
If the first person gets it wrong and the second person gets it wrong, do we then just question over, or do we keep going?
In that case, we just leave the question out for Santa Claus.
Got it. Okay.
Right.
Noted.
I'm gonna get a cookie after this.
Question 1. During the Scandinavian pagan tradition of jewel booking, or Yule booking, depending. Revelers would go door to door carrying the severed head of which animal? Is it A, a pig, B, a reindeer, C, a bear, or D, a goat?
Andrew.
Yeah, okay. Andy, shoot.
Oh God. Reindeer?
Reindeer is incorrect. Naveen, chance to
Thank God.
steal.
All right. Just because we did Grisman, it'd be fun to do bear, but I'm going to go with goat.
Goat is the correct answer.
That makes the most sense out of all of them.
Yeah, it does.
In pagan tradition, Yule bookers would wear goatskin disguises and carry a goat's head, although this was phased out in the 13th century through the efforts of Christian missionaries. The modern form takes place between Christmas and New Year's, where Yule bookers don costumes and go door to door singing for their neighbors. Similar to trick-or-treating, they are awarded with candy or alcohol after the performance. The receiving household must guess the singers' identities, and at least one family member is expected to whip up a disguise and join the traveling party before they leave. So you guys, can you see like the business chat?
John, I hate these pictures that you sent. I hate them.
Jewel booking.
We'll have to make sure that these make it into the slideshow that plays over the audio of this on YouTube, because everybody needs to see this because I had to see it.
Right. and this is after they got rid of carrying a goat's head.
Yeah. Oh man, that second picture, the black and white one, is definitely cursed.
Yeah.
Oof.
Looks like fun.
Sure. Yeah.
Question number 2. Which song, now associated with Christmas, was originally written for Thanksgiving? Was it A, Jingle Bells, B, Here We Come a-Wassailing, C, God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, or D, Deck the Halls?
Naveen,
shoot.
Jingle Bells.
Jingle Bells is correct. Hold on one second here.
What?
Jingle Bells, which makes no specific references to Christmas, was written by James Lord Pierpont, the actual uncle of J.P. Morgan, in 1850, and eventually copyrighted under the title The One Horse Open Sleigh. There is historical debate over whether it was first performed as a drinking song or at Thanksgiving church services either in Bedford, Massachusetts, or in Savannah, Georgia, where Pierpont eventually retired.
Huh.
So there's a lot of debate, there's a lot of back and forth, but we have in Medford there is a tavern that has like a little plaque outside that sort of makes the claim this is where like the first Jingle Bells performance actually happened.
One Horse Open Sleigh was the name of it, huh?
Naveen, I have to ask, you chimed in quickly and very confidently on that one. Had you heard that question before, or did you just guess?
No, I'd heard something. I don't know. I didn't know the story behind it. I just heard that it was, it was originally a Thanksgiving song.
Oh, interesting.
Gotcha.
And the picture that you had sent seems to not be loading there, Johnny.
Yeah, same on my side.
Just give it a second. Yeah. All right. Going on. Question number 3. Very relevant to how I'm spending my holidays. In Japan, which American fast food is popular to eat for Christmas dinner? Is it A, McDonald's, B, KFC, C, Wendy's, or D, Shakey's Pizza?
Andrew.
Shoot.
KFC.
KFC is correct.
Nice.
Nagoya restaurateur. Yeah, on the board. Nagoya restaurateur Takeshi Okawara opened the first Japanese KFC in 1970. He was then inspired to create a holiday bucket meal after hearing American expats complain about how they miss Thanksgiving dinner. Okawara's promotional slogan, Kentucky wa Christmasu, Kentucky is Christmas, and the Japanese conflation of Colonel Sanders and Santa Claus, I'll upload an image of that in a second, created a long-standing national connection between the holiday and the franchise. Today, Christmas sales account for a full 1/3 of KFC revenue in Japan. As of 2024, a standard KFC Christmas set with 8 pieces of chicken, a shrimp gratin, and a chocolate cake retails for 4,580 yen, about $30 American, when booked in advance.
Wait a minute. I have so many questions. Holy shit. Okay.
Okay. You'll have more questions after you see the visuals. Hold on.
So did you say 1/3 of their revenue?
Yeah.
Like worldwide?
No, in Japan specifically for
Japan,
KFC.
okay.
But you're talking about annually.
Yes.
Holy shit. Wow. Okay.
Right.
That was one
I think
question.
a third of the money they make is within kind of like the 2 or 3 weeks of the Christmas around the Christmas season.
I'm going to open up a KFC franchise in Japan.
Hell yeah. Okay. My second question. Shrimp gratin from KFC? Whatever.
I've never had it. It just Japanese fast food is categorically more healthy and delicious out here. Like if you check the chat, I've uploaded a photo of the set meal.
I do see it. It looks lovely.
Awesome.
Okay, wait.
Like
so I have to ask a question. Could you still, if you were to go out right now, Johnny, could you get this?
Good. Maybe.
I have to implore you.
Okay.
If you can get your hands on this particularly the shrimp and whatever what is the dessert? What did he say it was?
It's a lovely little chocolate cake.
If you can get your hands on these things, I'm dying to know if shrimp from KFC is as just disgusting as it sounds.
It's like so my girlfriend and I have lunch plans now. I will put it on the rotation to try to pick up one of these things at some point. Spoiler alert, it's probably delicious. Like this the whole thing. Like even Japanese fast food tastes so much better and is so much more just kind of just professionally food out here is just cleaner and better made than it is like that in the States. Like of course, like a actual sort of KFC shrimp gratin out of like just Willimantic, Connecticut, of course will probably give you rickets, but I don't think that would actually be the case.
It's surely food poisoning. Also, is it just me, Naveen? I want you to chime in on this one. The first picture that Johnny sent is a statue of the Colonel holding I don't know what those are. Fireworks?
Let's just say fireworks. It's probably fireworks. This is a very law-abiding country.
I don't know what that is, but regardless, is it just me, or does that Colonel look strangely Asian, but also still white and the Colonel?
It looks like he has a grandfather they don't talk about. That's kind of the vibe.
I don't know. Just maybe that's it. Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like there something happened here. I don't know. Somebody came and visited Kentucky that probably got a lot of sidelong looks from the rest of the folks there. I don't know.
It looks very much like to me. Winona's Big Brown Beaver, the Duracell.
Oh yeah.
Big guys in those costumes.
Like those big crazy masks everybody's wearing.
Yeah, good call.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Wow.
So we're 2 points. 2 points for Devine, point for Andy. Let's go on to question number 4. In this offbeat German American tradition, what food-shaped ornament is hidden in Christmas trees and thought to bring good luck to whoever finds it? A. Candied plums. B. Herrings. C. Pickles. D. Beef jerky.
Andrew.
I think I heard Andy first.
All right.
Pickle.
Pickles are correct. So
we actually do
this
that
tradition.
We do that.
Nice.
Your own family does that.
Yep. We hide the pickle.
Oh, nice.
Which makes me laugh every year.
So do you know how to pronounce like the German word? It's Weihnachtsgurke. Weihnachtsgurke.
Sure don't. Nope.
Any idea? Okay. This tradition is known as German blah, 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 which translates to Christmas Eve pickle. At one point, this was thought to be an ancient German tradition based on a story of two children who were murdered by an innkeeper, hid in a pickle barrel, and brought back to life by Santa on Christmas Eve. However, historical evidence points to Renishkirke as a fabricated advertising hook by American department store Woolworth, who started importing German-made glass-blown Christmas ornaments in the 1880s. The idea took hold with German-American communities. Berrien Springs, Michigan, now even hosts an annual Christmas pickle parade led by a master of ceremonies, and I swear this is true, led by a master of ceremonies known as the Grand Dillmeister. Yeah.
Please tell me you're about to send over a picture of the Grand Dillmeister.
Sadly, no. I should have looked that up. I just got like this one photo with Christmas ornament there.
That's disappointing.
It's crazy how these traditions are. I mean, isn't like the whole Christmas tree thing like a pagan thing?
Yes. Christmas itself is entirely a pagan thing,
right?
As is Easter, as is Halloween.
Got this horrific thing with pickles, and they made it into let's hide this pickle. Right. Before it was like, yeah, we took kids and we put them in pickle containers.
Right.
Back to life. It's like, all right.
At least the ornament isn't the severed head of a goat.
Okay. Yeah.
And we're about to get crazier here.
Uh-oh.
Please.
Okay.
Please do.
Question number 5. During the Dutch feast of Sinterklaas, St. Nicholas arrives from Spain on what kind of conveyance? Is it A, a helicopter, B, a steamboat, C, a vintage train, or D, a horse-drawn carriage?
Naveen,
shoot.
Gonna go train.
It is not a train. Andy, chance to steal.
Give me the choices again.
Okay, helicopter, steamboat, or horse-drawn carriage are still on the board.
I want it to be helicopter.
You want it to be helicopter.
I do. I'm going with
Final
helicopter, even though I assume it's wrong.
All right. It is not a helicopter. It is actually a steamboat. All right.
Why?
Yeah.
Naveen, you still there? Okay.
Yeah.
The Dutch Sinterklaas festivities began each year in mid-November with the arrival of St. Nicholas by steamboat at a designated seaside town. Supposedly journeying to the Netherlands from Spain. St. Nicholas is assisted by Zwart Piet, or Black Pete, a man dressed in Moorish clothing and blackface makeup, who throws candy and gingerbread cookies into the crowd. Sinterklaas is beloved across the country across multiple generations and ethnic groups, although it is noted that the enthusiasm for the holiday has been somewhat diminished in recent years due to the insensitive depiction of Zwart Piet, which you can see a photo of in the podcast chat where I just posted.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry that I interrupted you there with my exclamation, but I opened up this picture and the very first thing I saw is this clearly Caucasian man in like charcoal black face paint with big red lips.
It's just not just black face, like deep black face. Just with the
black as night with big red lips and
2 or 3 coats. This is like the cover of the Spinal Tap album.
Yeah. And what I can only assume is a black afro wig. This is crazy. And then there's another one over the security guard. Sure, that's true too. Over the security guard looking guy's shoulder, there's another dude dressed in similar garb.
It's camouflaged.
All right.
Oh man, that is crazy! Holy shit! Okay,
and keep in mind these guys are just getting off like a steamboat to just complete adulation from like the Dutch crowds.
Wow. Amsterdam's a weird place.
Yeah, that's a word for it.
Wow.
Oy. Okay.
That's why
Yeah.
Austin Powers' dad doesn't like the Dutch.
Doesn't seem so baseless, does it?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it really doesn't. I get it.
Okay. All right. Going on, question number 6. Per Icelandic folklore tradition, who are the mystical creatures known as the Yule Lads? Is it A, a tribe of elves who throw raucous parties on New Year's and Twelfth Night, also known as January 6th? A family of trolls who prank and harass the human population? The Shore Walkers, seal-like coastal creatures who only become visible during winter solstice? Or D, the remnant members of Bjork's 1992 avant-pop band, the Sugar Cubes?
Naveen,
Andrew. Oh.
Naveen.
I'm going to go with the elves.
It is not the elves. Andy, chance to steal.
Oh, they're not. Oh, shoot. So the second B was trolls.
B was trolls.
C
C was the Shore Walkers, and D was a Bjork's old band, the Sugar Cubes.
I guess I'm going to go with B, trolls.
Trolls is correct.
I thought it was the elves too.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much 80-90% of sort of like kind of Icelandic myth are around like kind of elves specifically. But the Yule Lads are 13 troll brothers descended from the ogres Grilla and Lapadui. Each brother has an associated day leading up to Christmas and a thematic torment they like to inflict on the humans. English translations of the brothers' names include Spoon Licker, Pot Scraper, Yogurt Gobbler, Window Peeper, Doorway Sniffer, and Meat Hook. Also included in the family is the Yule Cat, a huge and vicious beast who eats people that have not received any new clothes to wear before Christmas Eve.
Wow. How about
So
that?
if you check out the chat, you got like a little diagram, like a full breakdown of like what the Yule Lads are all about, and also like a photo of Bjork and the Sugar Cubes that just makes me feel sentimental, but also extremely old.
Huh. Wow, Grilla is that's an attractive woman. Wow. Spoon Licker.
Spoon Licker.
Holy, sounds like a porn movie.
Steals, I can't pronounce that. A type of wooden spoon to lick is extremely thin due to malnutrition. What the hell? Oh yeah, this is good stuff. I'm gonna dig into that later. I gotta learn more about that.
Yeah. Sweet.
That's funny.
All right, and kind of going into our final question. In the Ukraine, what unusual decoration is traditionally used to adorn a Christmas tree? Is it A, dried garlic bulbs, B, wicker devils, C, ceramic beer steins, or D, cotton spider webs?
Oh, did you go through it again?
Dried garlic bulbs, wicker devils, ceramic beer steins, cotton spider webs.
Naveen.
Shoot.
I'm just going to go with the garlic bulbs.
Garlic bulbs is not correct. Andy, chance to steal.
Oh God, please tell me it's B, the devils.
It is not the devils either. Why don't we do 2 left? Bring in one more time.
So what's the 2 left? We got the spider webs.
Beer steins with spider webs.
Naveen, the spider webs.
It is the spider webs. The Ukrainian tradition of decorating Christmas trees with cotton spider webs and jeweled spider ornaments known as pavuchki originated in a 19th century folk tale from western Ukraine. The folk tale tells the story of an impoverished widow and her children who wept on Christmas Eve as they had no money to decorate their tree. The spiders who lived in their hut, moved by their tears and grateful for the year-round warmth of the house, spun threads of silver and gold to decorate the tree for the human family. Today, cobwebs and spiders are still seen as totems of good luck in Ukrainian households.
Okay.
All right. So that was the end of it because we had one complete miss. We are 3-3. So tiebreaker question. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes. Naveen, yes.
And Naveen is our winner.
Ah. I wasn't quick enough
Well
on
done,
the
you
draw
guys.
for that one.
Hmm.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I love
So
the
pretty-
Rule Lads.
Hmm.
Do we get a picture of the spiders?
Oh yeah, it coming through right now.
All right.
They really put a lot into it too. You look at these things.
Yeah. Still haven't gotten that other picture from the
Nor have I.
From the
the
tavern?
second question. Yeah.
Oh wow, those
see,
are
it
very
should-
elaborate.
One second
I-
here.
I don't care for that because I don't like spiders very much, but good for them.
Good for them.
But I have to say, I know I keep going back to the Yule Lads, but I love
Uh-huh.
Iceland. I think I've said that before on this pod at one time or another.
Mhm.
And this just makes me love Iceland even more, which I wasn't even really
Right.
sure was possible.
You know, this is a thing I feel that's typical of, like, you know, countries with really long winters. Like, their mythologies are super elaborate.
Yes. Yeah, yes, for sure. But man, yeah, go visit Iceland. It's just wonderful. It's like a magical land.
Yeah, it's definitely on the list.
Oh man.
I've had it on the short list for a long time, and I know how easy it is to kind of get out there from, like, New England, especially. I've spent time at the airport. Biggest memory I have of the airport is they were selling, like, sandwiches with that were full of reindeer steaks.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's actually
Wasn't
a very
actually
good
brag-
airport.
Mm, mm.
It's a great airport. I love it.
Keflavik.
I would move to Iceland in a minute.
Hmm.
Absolutely.
So Johnny, whatever format that picture's in, Google
Uh-huh.
Chat does not like it.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me
Maybe
do something clever
upload
real
it.
quick.
Google Drive, maybe. See if we
I'm
can-
just going to screenshot like the picture itself and, like, resend it that way.
Gotcha.
That was a good sorbet, John. I like that one.
Oh, thank you. That was really, really fun to kind of write and research. So happy to do.
I'm sure it was. Yeah.
I bet. Yeah. I mean, didn't even know of some of these traditions.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. There you go. It came through.
Sweet. Okay, so I think that's our show. Like, any closing thoughts, you guys, before we go?
I would like to say, since we won't record again until after the first of the year, and I wish Eric was here for this as well, but I just want to say thank you to you guys for this whole thing that we've undertaken with this podcast. We're still not good at it. I don't know that we ever will be, but I look forward to these records every week. I thoroughly enjoy the conversation. I love that it gives us an excuse to stay connected. It was definitely one of the high points for me of the year, or several of the high points of the year for me. And I look forward to continuing doing it, even if it's just for us and Leonard.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. I mean, the year has kind of been a challenging one for me for like a number of circumstances, and just like the chance to not only kind of do something long term with structure and creativity, something that I love being committed to, that I love that the adventure and the exercise of it every week, and not just having the chance to do that, but having a chance to kind of do it with friends that are just equally committed to it. It's just, this just I can only kind of echo Andy's sentiment there.
Yep.
Plus, I never would have seen Guar without like the pod. So
yeah, that in and of itself
on that one. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I can basically the same thing, echoing all that. Thank you guys for, I guess, from the sounds and from what it sounded like from our other Rebel Scums and things we've talked about that kind of pushed you guys into, and you guys are like, I'll do it. And then it turned into something pretty like, no, we're doing this. Like this is happening.
Yeah. Naveen, this was all your impetus, like, originally.
So, I mean, not trying to pat my own back or, but just, thank you for doing it with me. I appreciate that and hanging on. And actually, obviously not just staying hanging on because you think you have to, but that you enjoy it. And yeah, it brings me joy as well just to do something that's fun and creative, as Johnny mentioned, but also that's just there. Like it's not
that's
a lot of
a
work.
long-term ongoing thing, and does seem like it feels like it just like evolves and just kind of changes and becomes more interesting like week to week.
Yep,
without a doubt. And to all our listeners and all you guys as well, well, I'm sure we'll talk before then, but have a good happy new year and hoping this continues. Well, I mean, for our sake, pretty much. But if it grows into something, that's cool. It's a bonus.
Even better.
Yeah.
Well, sort of coming attractions next week. Hopefully, we'll be back with a full contingent. Eric will be rejoining us. We'll be doing kind of our year-end recap and our burnt end segment, where we kind of circle back through all the movies we've covered previously on the pod over the past year, and get off any kind of new ideas or jokes or thoughts or kind of takes that we have. And then I believe like the week after that, we'll be trying to finally wrap up our mockumentary series with an actual legitimate mockumentary, in that we're all going to be watching just like for me personally an all-time classic. This is Spinal Tap. I'm really looking forward to that conversation.
Yeah. Yep. Same.
Yeah.
All the
And I just got a text from Eric. There was an update about the RAV4 on the beach. Apparently, the ice cream bunny just showed up, and everything has just gone completely to hell. So why don't we just wrap up then?
Let's hope he doesn't shit his pants.
Probably.
Fingers
Good
crossed.
point. Well, maybe he'll just, recite Thumbelina or something. Yeah.
All right, fellas.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah.
All
Take care, gentlemen. Talk to you in a bit.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.